Very good morning to all my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you are doing good. Today is 29th June 2020. Day is Monday. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Henry Ford. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Failures are like speed breakers. When we encounter a speed breaker, we don't stop our car or motorcycle forever over there, isn't it? What we do is we slow down, we very gently, as gently as possible, we cross that speed breaker and then we start again with first or second gear. Same thing happens with failures as well, right? They break our speed, they break our rhythm, but they give us an opportunity to start again more intelligently. So failures are going to be there on the road, just like speed breakers are there on the roads. So there is no point of stopping yourself, right? You have to accept these failures and move ahead. That's the way of life. With this difference, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for your civil services examination. It covers your pre and mains examination, and to find out more about it, do check out our mobile application. You can download the PDF of today's lecture from my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Dear friends, on our table we have 5 important articles. The first one is about India and China. Second one is about FATF and Pakistan. Third one is about domicile rule in Jammu and Kashmir. Fourth is about in space. This one is from Times of India. In fact, I'll take you through some important points about in space, which are very important for your understanding, overall understanding about in space. And this is coming directly from the head of ISRO, right? So it's basically an excerpt of an interview of ISRO's head. I'm not going to give you his name because I'm going to ask you a question. So tell me the right name. Tell me the name of the person who is the head of ISRO at present, right? Just stick your answer in the comment section. And the last one is about Kartarpur Bridge. This one is about India and Pakistan. And then we are going to go through some important news items. Dear friends, making sense of China's calculations. We have failed, I think, as far as decoding signals from China is concerned. The way China has been behaving at LSC, and not just LSC, but China has entered our portion as well, our portion of land, and then it is misbehaving. The sad thing is that on 6th June, both nations, they had this discussion that we are going to de-escalate things that are going on in this LSE or around LSE area. And on 15th June, what happened was there was a sort of not, I won't say the word battle, but there was a brawl between Chinese and Indian soldiers, and unfortunately we had some 20 battle casualties. It is said, it is reported in various different newspapers that China suffered some 45 battle casualties, but it's not about it's not a number game here, right? We are talking about our soldiers here. So that's number one thing. Second thing is that policy planners both in China and India, they have feared this fatal casualties. They feared this direct confrontation, right? This was their biggest nightmare. This was their biggest fear. And both sides have tried for a very long period of time to avoid this sort of direct confrontation. But unfortunately, on 15th June, we saw this thing. And this is, as far as casualties are concerned, since 1967, this is the highest number that India has registered, which is, I'm not talking about China, I'm talking about our side here, right? Then latest, after this post 15th June incident, there was a thorough discussion took place between, at both level, military level as well as diplomatic level, and it was decided that again both nations will de-escalate, and China said this thing that we are going to go back to where we used to be. But if we go through satellite images, then we find that Chinese posts in Galwan are getting bigger in size. So China is saying something and doing something. It is all about, it's not like walking, or you are not walking on what you are saying, right? Walk the talk is not taking place here. We have to understand this thing as well, that this is a new normal, new and different normal as far as India-China relations are concerned, right? This is a reality now. Things are not going to be like before. Things are going to be very different. In fact, they are very different now. And if you see what happened back in Despang 2013, Chumur 2014, Doklam 2017, right? There was a sort of trouble. There was a sort of, not conflict, I would say. There was a sort of a tussle between both parties. But this is huge. What has happened on 15th June and things that are going on from last few months now, this is a big thing, and we have basically, both nations have entered into a new level as far as bilateral relationship is concerned. Now, China is particularly interested in this point 14. China wants to control this point 14 because if China can control point 14, then China can, it can chokehold or it can stranglehold this Darbuk Shiok Daulat Beg Oldie Road, this road here, right? This road it can control, and this road connects directly to this Karakoram Pass, and China is saying that we are going to, means Aksai chain belongs to them. That's what they are saying for a very long period of time. It is our mistake as well, because our leaders, I'm not blaming the current government, right? I'm talking about all the central governments, right? Starting from independence till now, right? We have not been that aggressive as far as Aksai Chin is concerned, particularly after 62 when China captured this Aksai Chin portion of our country. And the reason China has captured this Aksai Chin and China wants to keep this Aksai Chin is because it provides direct connectivity between two of the most troubled regions of China. You have to understand this thing, that Aksai Chin, why Aksai Chin is strategically important for China, because it provides a direct connectivity between two of the most troubled regions of China. One is Xinjiang and the second one is Tibet. So China will not let Aksai Chin go that easily, and things got a new fuel. Or this fire that was going on, it was about to go off. It got a new fuel when we removed, when the government of India removed this Article 370, and a new map of India was launched. And Amit Shah, our Home Minister, in a statement in Parliament, he said that a day will come when we will, we will have full control over our Aksai Chin. So since then, China was, doing something, and we have failed in collecting that intelligence. Questions are now being raised about the failure of intelligence, inadequate appreciation of what the build-up meant. We have latest gadgets and technologies, and we have departments doing it. We have one IMINT. IMINT stands for High Quality Imaginary Intelligence. Then we have Signals Intelligence Capabilities, which is known as SIGINT. And these two items are particularly for detecting any big movements taking place nearby LSC, or if China is trying to come into nearby LSC and in big numbers, then these items or these facilities should have detected this move. It is also said that the things that are going on at present is because of India's failure to decipher China's intentions after our statement. And this is not just one thing. It's not that Amit Shah's statement has triggered this move by China. There are so many other reasons as well. Now, a few days ago as well, we were talking about this reason. So if this is your first day, then I would highly recommend you guys to go through my lectures. I'm not saying all the lectures, but if you can go through few lectures, right? What you can do is, I'll give you a trick. What you can do is visit my Telegram channel. You can download the PDF of my past lectures, past 3-4 lectures maybe, or 1 week's lecture, last week's lecture. Download the PDF and then go through the PDF index, right? You'll find India-China topics. So go through all those India-China discussions. It will take overall 30-40 minutes. But once you go through all those discussions, I strongly believe that you would have a very good grip about the reasons why China is misbehaving with our country, India. So it is said that apart from other reasons, right, we were not able to, decipher this China's intention. And the principal responsibility for intelligence assessment and analysis is with NSCN, that is National Security Council Secretariat, and also RAW. It is said that our research and analysis wing organization, this RAW, is not having adequate Chinese specialists, and we don't have domain expertise as far as China is concerned. So this is very unfortunate, and this should have never happened, but it has happened. But it's never too late. What we can do, the best thing that we can do is need to have some more expert people on board as far as RAW is concerned, and we have to boost our intelligence collection. Without information, you cannot take decision. So our leaders, they should get access. They should have access to best intelligence, best inputs we should receive, so that we can take a proper decision. Last thing that we find in this article is summit diplomacy. So I'm going to throw some more light on this summit diplomacy, what it is all about. See, when it comes to finances, finance ministry is expert, right? I'm not saying finance minister. When I say finance ministry, I'm talking about overall system of finance ministry. All the people that you have, it is believed that they are expert in finances. In the same way, when it comes to foreign relationship, it is Ministry of External Affairs, right? And people and officers and ministers, right? They are the ones who are expert in, as a team, as a unit, they are expert in diplomatic relationship, bilateral relationship, multilateral relationship, etc., etc. But summit diplomacy is something that has been in fashion for a very long period of time, and generally speaking, summit diplomacies have failed. They look very charming, they look very attractive, but they are not able to deliver all those results that we think they can. So first of all, let me tell you what summit diplomacy is all about. Rather than Ministry of External Affairs or Foreign Ministry dealing with its counterpart, what we are finding nowadays is that top leadership like Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping discussing things with each other, Wuhan and Mamallapuram. But it has failed to stop this relationship entering into altogether a new and different normal level. Same thing goes with Mr. Trump's discussion with Mr. Modi, and it's not just about Mr. Modi here, right? This applies to various different leaders in various different countries around the world. So summit diplomacy is not the best way if you want to see results. Let MEA do all the things. Let them decide, right? Take advice of MEAs rather than other way around. So that's basically everything. Let's move on to FATF and Pakistan, Financial Action Task Force. I have one question for you. Can you tell me how many countries are part of this FATF? Stick your answer in the comment section. Now, dear friends, Financial Action Task Force has decided to grant Pakistan 3-month extension on fulfilling commitments. This is because of COVID-19. I know that Pakistan is an enemy state, but I really appreciate their foreign ministry and foreign affairs department. They are brilliant. Seriously, they are brilliant. They have been promoting terrorism and they are using terrorism, and the whole world knows that Pakistan is a sort of safe haven for terrorism. But then as well, they have ducked the sanctions. They are able to make new friends like China. They are able to attract Russia towards them. They have been using American money for a very long period of time, and then as well, nothing is happening with Pakistan. So whether we like it or not, right? I really, really appreciate Pakistan's foreign ministry. They are brilliant in, They are brilliant in executing things that are in interest of Pakistan, right? Which is bad, but still they are expert in that thing. Anyway, Back in 2018, Pakistan came under this grey list. So when you are under grey list, pressure is too much on you and you are being asked to do certain things. Sanctions are applied. Some relaxations are there, but then you find some sanctions as well. So 2019 October was deadline for Pakistan. Pakistan was supposed to complete some 27-point action plan on countering terror financing and anti-money laundering. But as I told you, they are expert in ducking things. So Pakistan, asked for some more time, and there were negotiations, and it was trying to make some more friends and win some friends or get support from some friends so that Pakistan don't come under or don't fall under this blacklist of FATF. When you are under blacklist of FATF, right, you are under severe financial sanctions, and it will cripple your economy, and it is a big trouble if you are under blacklist. So fortunately for Pakistan, it saved itself from this blacklist. Now, out of this 27 points, Pakistan has completed about 14 points. It still has to work on 13 points. Like the first one, the bigger one is improving mechanisms to curb terror financing. Now, this is their expertise, right? Terror financing is something that they are very good at, one of the best in the world. So it's going to be very difficult for Pakistan to drop it. Amending law to curb hawala transaction. Hawala transaction like, cash. Again, expert, so very difficult it looks like. Placing sanctions against cash couriers who facilitate terror groups. Very, very difficult, right? Or nearly impossible. Like stopping terrorist financing, right? Stopping or sanctioning, applying sanctions on those people who are cash couriers of terror groups. No, this is something against the ideology of Pakistan or the government of Pakistan. Completing the prosecution of groups banned by UNSC. Oh, this is going to last forever. And converting madrasas run by them into formal schools. Impossible. Right? I'm being very negative here. I'm not being funny here, but I'm being very realistic here. This is not the first time Pakistan has been under grey list. It was back in 2008 as well. From 2012 to 2015, it was under this grey list, and little evidence, as you know, there is little evidence that it has improved. It's very strange, or not very strange to be honest, right? It's just strange that someone can say this thing in the parliament, but as far as their attitude, their inclination is concerned, it's very obvious that what Imran Khan has said. Imran Khan has said this thing in Parliament of Pakistan, that Osama bin Laden was a shaheed or a martyr. Can you believe this thing? This man is saying that Osama bin Laden was a martyr, and he's not saying this thing on his Twitter. He's not saying this thing on a sort of chalk or crossroad in Islamabad. He is talking about this thing, or he said these words in the Parliament of Pakistan. So this is like an official statement that they are not happy with the death of Osama bin Laden. The US report on terrorism that was launched last week has clearly stated that Pakistan remains a safe haven for the most UN proscribed groups. What they do is, when pressure mounts up, they will invite this so-called Masood Azhar and other leaders to visit the jail of Pakistan, because that will make them a bit more the official safeguarding they will get, right? So that's how they protect it. They use this all things very, cunningly for their favor. And Pakistan failed as well. Last week it was trying to designate 4 Indians as terrorists, but USA used its veto power, and it has rejected this proposal by Pakistan. Moving on to next item, my dear friends, it's about domicile rules of Jammu and Kashmir. On your screen, you can see this is Ladakh here, and this is Jammu and Kashmir. These are two new union territories of our country. So after this removal of Article 370, right, things are a bit different or drastically different in Jammu and Kashmir. Earlier on, this was one big state, Jammu and Kashmir, and Ladakh. This Jammu and Kashmir portion of today and Ladakh portion were part of Jammu and Kashmir state. So when it was a state, there used to be a rule that that you cannot buy property if you are from Gujarat or Rajasthan or from Uttarakhand or Uttar Pradesh or Kerala or any other part. You cannot buy any property in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Even if you are living there for like 50 years, you are not part of, or you are not considered as a citizen of Jammu and Kashmir. And there were like 2 to 3 lakh people, particularly made up of refugees from Pakistan, sanitary workers, and Gurkhas. And I'm not saying that these people are living there for like 10 days or 15 days or 15 years. They have been living here from 3 or 4 generations. But then as well, they were denied opportunities in education, in employment, in politics of Jammu and Kashmir, because they were never considered as citizens of Jammu and Kashmir. The erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir gained special powers to define its permanent residents and restrict land, educational, and employment rights only to them. So the new domicile rules, they are quite clear, they are quite open, they are a bit more, I would say, inclusive. So those persons and their children who have resided for 15 years in Jammu and Kashmir or have studied for 7 years and appeared in class 10 or class 12 board exams in an educational institution in the Union Territory are eligible for grant of domicile. Very, very important statement. They can ask you an MCQ on this thing. So you should be very clear about this thing. The changes will enable many other currently living in Jammu and Kashmir to get domicile and associated rights. Now, there are a few groups, there are a few people, they are not happy about this new domicile rule, like National Conference and People's Democratic Party. They have said that this is not fair for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and their claim is, or their argument is that more people will come in, opportunities will go away from from the local people, and these new people will grab everything. But if we go through the history of our country, whatever we are, right, our culture has developed, our economies, or in various different zones of our country, it has flourished because of these people coming from or trading with various different cultures and people around the world. So this is invalid argument when you are saying that when people will come from other parts, they will grab things from it will add more value, it will create more economic opportunities, it will improve, it will not, I would, improve is not the right word, but I would say it will add on to the culture of Jammu and Kashmir. Moving on to next very interesting interview of the head of ISRO, and stick your answer in the comment section, dear friends. So it's all about in space, right? To enable India to expand its footprint in the 360 billion space market. Global space market size is $360 billion. And India's contribution, or India's share in this $360 billion space market, is just 3%. Of course, we can, if we aim, then we can have 30% of share, right? We are that much capable. For that, there are so many things that we have to do. And I think in space is going to be a big thing. It's a big revolution. In space stands for Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Center. Now, the question is, will in space affect the functioning of ISRO? The answer is no. The reason is that we have this Department of Space. Under this Department of Space, you have ISRO, you have another autonomous body, then you have another body here, right? And then you have this new in space. So ISRO is part of DOS, Department of Space. In space is part of Department of Space. So they're totally autonomous, right? They are not going to interfere with each other. The third one is New Space India Limited, right? This is a public sector entity. So out of these 4 verticals of Department of Space, just like ISRO, this in space is going to be totally autonomous body. It is going to have its own chairman, directorate, and cadre. Next question, very important one, very important information. Will in space's decision be binding on ISRO? That's a very interesting question. See, the thing is, what in space is all for? In space is going to promote, first let me explain this thing to you, that till now what used to happen is that private players and consortium of companies, they were just supplying components and some things, some parts of rockets and satellites. But now government wants them to take part in creating their own satellites and rockets. I hope this thing is clear. Till now, ISRO used to create rockets and satellites, but now private players can also create rockets and satellites. So private players, if they need any sort of ISRO's facilities, right? Because if they want to create rocket, they need to have some facilities, isn't it? So they can request InSpace about their particular project, and then InSpace will have a discussion with ISRO, and if everything is okay, then InSpace decision will be binding. Then mission specific, right? It's not going to be a generic permission, but it's going to be more case by case basis. So private player can use ISRO's centers or facilities to create their rockets and satellites. For that, they need to go to InSpace, and InSpace will have a chat with ISRO. It's not going to be like, okay, give permission to this. It's going to be a thorough discussion between two independent autonomous body. Once it is decided, a yes signal is given, then InSpace decision will be binding. So keep this thing in mind. So this is the main plan here, that not just body parts or some components, but now private players are going to create satellites and rockets. Students can create mini satellites, and this will be launched by ISRO, or this can be launched using ISRO's launch pads, and there is going to be a fee. So it's going to be altogether a new thing for our country. And as I told you, just our portion is just a 3%. So this private participation is going to create healthy competition between ISRO and these new players, and it's going to be beneficial for the whole world, right? One more thing, why can't we have common policy for in the space sector? Because see, SATCOM, when it comes to SATCOM, it is satellite communication. It's pure commercial. Remote sensing is not commercial. It's more social. It's for the betterment of our country. And navigation is mix of both. It's for commercial as well as it's for social purpose. So this different characteristic of each application is the reason why we don't have a common policy. Spy versus spy raw. You know what happened between India and Pakistan in last few weeks time. Delhi has asked the Pakistan High Commission to reduce their strength to half, and that's what we are going to do. Now, Pakistan has offered to reopen Gurudwara Darbar Sahib at Kartarpur from today for Indian pilgrims on the occasion of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's death anniversary. This is very surprising move from Pakistan. Since 30th March, right, this Kartarpur corridor was closed because of COVID-19 pandemic. Now they have offered this thing, and MEA has said that just 2 days notice is too short, and it looks like a mirage of goodwill. It looks like Pakistan is doing something, or something is going on, something is cooking, something fishy is there. Khalistan, it could be also possible that Pakistan wants to give a new fuel or add fuel to the fire of Khalistan. Kartarpur corridor is of course a rare agreement between India and Pakistan. All other agreements are nearly gone or are fading out, but this one is a very solid agreement, or very solid connection between, or a bridge between India and not a literally a bridge, but it's like a relationship bridge that is connecting India and Pakistan in these tough times. India wants to make this thing absolutely clear that our policy with China and our policy with Pakistan is totally independent, but these two countries, right, they are all with the friends. So I'm not sure how much we are going to distinguish this thing or determine this thing. But anyway, Pakistan is, trying to shift blame on us. Pakistan wants to prove this thing that, see, we were the ones, we have offered this hand of friendship by opening up Kartarpur corridor, but India wants to stay away from it. So I think India should take it positive, and India should go ahead with, accepting this offer. But now we have to wait and watch. And that's everything in as far as articles are concerned. Quickly, let's go through news items. Prime Minister Modi, in his Mann Ki Baat speech, has said that if we want to achieve success in making India self-reliant, then it's not just the government, but people will have to take part in it. Home Minister has said that we will win against COVID-19 and this LAC standoff as well. Jammu and Kashmir, 3 terrorists were killed. Assam, right, 9 lakh people in 23 districts are affected by floods. Yesterday, 10,000 people were rescued by NDRF and SDRF and 20,000 people are taking shelters in relief camps. Home Minister had a word with Chief Minister of Assam regarding this floodings, and he also spoke with Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar about this rising water level in Mahananda River. Uttar Pradesh is facing locust problem in many districts, and the last item is that the government has again extended the deadline to bid for Air India by 2 months till 31st August, and this is the third time the deadline has been extended. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. God bless you all. Jai Hind.